When one hears the word goblin, it may conjure up an image of a mischievous imp-like creature with a penchant for trickery. A name evoked to keep small children in their beds at night. But what if I was to tell you there is another sort of goblin? One with a mouthful of sharp teeth and the dead black eyes of a shark. That they were once human like you or I, but twisted into their terrible forms by fell magic and sent with unwavering obedience to punish and devour those they once loved.
The Knights of the Ship Actual Play Podcast presents Zweihander, Feast of Goblins.
Now we are recording.
Good evening, everyone. Here we are back at the shed. Unfortunately, Kevin, who plays the very old grandma,
Joan,
is he's unwell.
Maybe try that again because we said old Joan at about the same time. It'll sound weird.
So, right from the start.
No, just stay with Joan.
Just start again. What's up, man?
We have to start the whole entire adventure again.
Yeah, it's ruined.
Day one.
It's unfortunate Kevin cannot be here tonight. He's unwell, and so we won't have Joan joining us tonight. So we'll find somewhere to park her during the adventure. But for the first time, we have both Brent and Richie tapping in. I'll let them introduce themselves so that they might refresh you upon who they're playing.
This is Brent here. I'm playing Ilse, who's a young, devout, religious girl who's on a bit of a pilgrimage, but now she's in some strange land, obviously. It's getting stranger by the day.
It's Dave here. I'm playing Raphe Reimer, the smuggler. If you don't know about Raphe already, you obviously haven't been listening to the podcast, and what the fuck have you been doing? And just for anybody who's worried, in Kevin's absence tonight, I have got the rock that you need.
This is Toby, but I'm playing Maja tonight. I'm playing the nun who has basically lost all religion and is going on a rampage, killing anything she can. No, not really, but you know what I mean.
This is Richie. I'm playing Baius Philibus, academic and antiquarian. And it'll probably take me some time to get back into the Baius groove. It's been a while.
Now, Richie, I believe you've been doing some art presentations in foreign countries, and that's so we're very blessed to have you here with us again.
Thanks, Paul. It's good to be back.
Hi, it's Haydn again. I will be playing Helmut Siegler, the young boy on his quest for honey lollies. He will be accompanied by his dog Frida.
Very good. So last time when we finished, the party had just arrived in Skald and the Old Kartakan Inn. It was later in the afternoon and you'd just secured rooms for the night. Helmut and Frida were going to be sleeping in the barn. I think a common room might have been purchased, however, and some other rooms as well.
Joan
and
Maja are sharing a room.
And for the rest of you, your rooms have been upgraded. And it appears to be a fortuitous occasion as Ilse has somehow made her way through the lands from Harmonia to meet you here. What was she doing? Why couldn't she travel with the party and experience the eventful journey that they'll no doubt told you about?
Well, back in her homeland, her mother was a healer, and her mother used to ask Ilse to forage for herbs in the forest, and she became quite expert at that particular job. So I believe that Ilse was off foraging for herbs and kind of missed a couple of rather important events while she was off collecting herbs, but she's caught up with them now.
I don't know if she missed them so much as got to avoid them.
Avoided the...
So there was an encounter with some sort of strange wolf man who, when you slayed him, reverted into the body of a wolf as opposed to a human, which is different to the encounter in the jailhouse. Now, I believe you used doses of wolfsbane, and I'd just like to do a check-in around the table around how much wolfsbane people have left.
I have 0.
Well, I had none. I think I got some that
We got
Toby
some.
had.
Did we get some from the farmhouse? I thought they had some at the farmhouse that they let us have.
Good question. The one I used was one I think you dropped out the window earlier in the encounter.
Yeah.
We found some silver weapons in that house. I don't think we found any wolf's bane.
No, that was in the house where we were attacked by the werewolf. I think they had some hanging up, didn't they?
Maybe. If it's not written on your sheet.
Well, no, because I used it all up. Yeah.
I have some animal bane.
That's
I wouldn't know if that's the same as wolf's bane, wouldn't I?
It is different.
Ilse has a portion of wolfsbane, but one of the things she was trying to look for as well while she was foraging was any more. So I don't know what the chances were that she picked up some more.
It would be arduous because wolfsbane usually grows in the mountainous regions, which is away from the road.
Maybe she just picked up various healing herbs then.
Yeah.
Baius does not have any wolfsbane. However, he does have a bottle of leeches.
And really, that's more important.
Yeah. And some black lotus.
Now, Richie, because Baius has been here for 20 years and your house had a reasonable amount of wolfsbane, you can roll a d6 divided by 2, and that's how many pastes you have.
I rolled a 2, so a 1.
Okay,
Better than nothing.
So, what do you know about the Old Kartakan Inn? So, during the day, it's quite a upmarket place where the upper scoldians come to have lunch, catch up on gossip, discuss song and literature and economics. And there's a beautiful view of twin waterfalls that fall into the cauldron. And this whole water system is called the Sing Song River. Now, towards the end of the day, those sort of people file out, and then the drinks and the food move to the tavern, which is in the same building, but you just sort of have to sort of go to a different section. And you've secured rooms for the night, and I guess the late afternoon evening is yours to do with as you will.
Toby, what is Maja wearing?
Her armour.
Okay. So Ilse notices, and she's a little bit confused, and she speaks to Maja and says, Mother Maja, I notice you're looking different. Do you need me to sew you some new robes?
No, quite happy with what I've got.
But it's not befitting one of your position in the church.
I don't have a position in a church, I don't think anymore. I am no longer an anchorite, I don't feel.
But
no longer cloistered away in my little closet with my shit bucket.
But
is that a comment on the quality of the bucket or the use of the bucket? Or
use of the bucket.
Both.
Well, yeah, both.
But if you're found to be wearing that garb, I'm sure you may get in trouble. You may even get excommunicated from the church.
Oh, that's what my spear's for.
Pardon?
To protect me if I get in trouble.
I mean, if the bishop sees you, he might think you've lost your way and excommunicate you.
We are where you think we are.
Sorry, Maja, are you threatening to spear a bishop?
Well, maybe.
Is that worth corruption?
Sounds like big talk to me. I think it's deeds, not words.
I think that we should sit and pray together about this and ask for some strength.
I've
to
done
get through
30
this
years of
difficult
praying.
time.
I'm done with it.
What do you mean done with prayer? But it's the way of I'm flabbergasted. Did you mean you're going to pray less, like only 5 or 6 times a day?
Done with it.
Oh my. Well, I shall be praying for you.
I think, Ilse, you should probably pray for all of us.
I do. Regularly.
Well, I'm grateful.
And I prayed that I would find you again, and I did. You see, Mother Mary came to me in a vision, and she told me to spread her love to all I meet when I travel. So even though Mother Maja seems to have lost her way, I shall pray with her and travel with her and see if I can bring her back into the light.
I can see Mother Maja vigorously nodding her head. Shaking her head.
It's okay, Mother. I love you, as does your Father in heaven.
So what's going on for Maja at the moment?
Well, like I said, she's spent 30 years in that little hole in the wall. She's
What about your vows? Have you forgotten them?
forsaken them, basically. I've killed people. But, I killed the dog in self-defense, but admittedly, I've killed people. Those werewolf creatures as well. Struck blows against them.
But you can ask forgiveness.
I think they were not worthy of forgiveness. I think they were blows well struck against creatures that were against nature. And I don't think...
Are you talking about demons or creatures of the devil?
Well, maybe. Just maybe. The dog was definitely not a good person.
Still, it sounds as though your faith has been tested and you're wandering aimlessly in a spiritual desert at the moment.
Well, like I said, I don't even think we're in even where we started. I think we're in a completely different place with creatures that we would never see in or around.
But surely
this.
it's still all part of God's creation.
Do they even worship God here? Have we even tried to ask?
Oh, so what you're saying is we should spread His word here, and that's a very good idea.
You go about that. I'll be busy doing other stuff.
So I guess the key question is, have you abandoned your religion, or were you just sort of posing to have that religion?
I think it was more forced upon me. Yeah, I think Maja was a very rambunctious youth and was locked up by the church as an anchorite. Forced religion upon her.
So I'm wondering about the corruption question. Has she sort of rejected her faith, or was it sort of not really there in the first place?
Not really there in the first place.
Thank you. I rest my
So you
case.
sat in a cell for 30 years when you didn't really have a reason?
I was condemned to my fate, you know.
She was locked in the cell.
She climbed out the back in the end, didn't she? So you're a prisoner on the honour system, essentially.
Sneak out for a quickie every now and then.
Yikes.
Well, that was rather
Illuminating.
conversation in the tavern. The tavern where you are, it's kept dimly lit even during the brightest of days, and the majority of the eastern half of the room is taken up with a sunken area that contains the bar and several tables. There's a wide variety of bottles and glasses that stand on a heavy shelf. The western wall of the room is composed of a long dark row of dark brown curtains screening off 3 alcoves. The curtains covering the centre alcove hang open, revealing a round table and several stout chairs around it. And some whispers can be heard behind some of the other curtains. But the thickness of these curtains make it very difficult, if not impossible, to hear what's being said. The barman is a large man with a thick beard, but dressed well enough, and he's the one who's rented the rooms to you, and he kind of stands there expectantly, just watching you talk about your previous lives. That sounds like you could use a drink if you've been locked up for many years.
No, I'd like some water, though.
Water? You sure?
Yes.
I'd like a brandy, please, sir.
He's not old enough.
I am.
Brandy, hey?
Sure.
Well, if something's going to put hairs on your chest, it would be a brandy.
I'll have one, thanks.
Well, that will be 3 silver.
That's a lot of sugar candy that you go.
Yeah,
spending there.
do you have lollies?
Is this code for something?
You know, lollies. Honey lollies.
No, they'll have honey mead.
I'll have one of those instead, please.
Well, I can do that for you. But you said you wanted the brandy. You sure you don't want to have both?
No, I'll stick with the mead, thank you.
Helmut, I believe he's trying to upsell you.
Yeah, I think I understand.
Well, that will be 1 silver. He hands you back some money because you gave him too much. How about the rest of you?
Just water, please. Or milk if you've got it.
Yes, that'll be 3 bronze pennies.
Have you got change for a silver?
Yes, I have a silver here. He passes your change of 9 brass pennies and provides you with a cup of milk.
Thank you.
How about you? What would you like to drink?
I won't have anything, thank you. I think I might just take the air.
I'll buy your milk Rafe?
No, I'm quite all right. No.
Sure. I
Yes,
don't mind.
thank you.
And you, young lady?
No, nothing for me, thanks.
Kind of looks somewhat frustrated.
Well,
And what-
look, we've already paid for the rooms.
Well,
It's not like we're freeloading.
Have a mead with me.
and what about the old fella there?
How much is beer?
Well, by the stein, it's 7 brass pennies. For those of you who have had a alcoholic drink, depending on the quality of the drink, depends on how drunk you might get or intoxicated. So it comes under the label of liquid courage. And so, Helmut, you've had mead,
Mm-hmm.
so you need to make a routine toughness test.
Toughness.
So routine allows you to add plus 10 to your toughness skill.
Okay.
You have to roll under it. If you don't have toughness, it is...
Oh, there it is. I don't. So,
You don't have any ranks in it?
Nope.
So it's just against the ability score, plus 10%.
I passed that.
Okay.
Just.
Well, you keep your wits about you, and Baius, you have the beer, which is, not particularly strong, and so you can make an easy toughness test.
And if I don't have toughness?
The toughness skill's related to your
Brawn.
brawn.
Yep.
So you just roll under your brawn
Okay.
plus 20.
Plus 20.
Yep.
I failed.
So, yeah, you immediately suffer 3d10 plus 3 physical peril,
Wow.
1 corruption.
Dear God.
Holy crap. Why do you drink in this game?
This is more dangerous than fighting.
Okay, so I can see my peril threshold, but what do I do with this?
Yeah, so roll
Information.
3d10 plus 3.
23 total.
And what's your...
I see.
Peril.
So it goes 7, 13, 19, 25.
So it's between 19 and 25.
Yeah.
So it'll be...
So, yeah, you drop down to that third step in the peril track.
Ignore 2 skill rankings.
Yeah. So that means that when you do other skill checks, because you're a bit drunk, for every skill rank you ignore now, if you've got one, so that drops that skill down by 10%
Yep.
when you try and roll under it.
Unless you've got a focus in it.
Yes, correct. The other thing, however, is, this is going to last for, I think, 6 hours. But the great thing is that you kind of, you know how when you get drunk, you can take a bit more punishment because you're a bit number or you've got a bit more, less inhibitions. And
What's the name of the country that we're in?
Kartakas.
Kartakas Courage.
Courage.
Yeah. So you get plus 3 to your damage threshold.
Cool. Okay, let's drink some more.
I think you've had enough, Bias.
Already.
No, I'm getting some more. Another beer.
We must remember that Baius has a leave pass from his wife.
Oh, God.
So perhaps he hasn't had the opportunity to
Bias
splash out.
Bias throws another 9 brass pennies at the bartender.
So what are you going to stop him?
Okay, you're set up with steins. Okay. Does anyone else wish to take any actions or just watch?
Does somebody want to stop him?
No, he's a grown man. He can
Yeah, but...
wake up with a hangover tomorrow.
He's the most mature by... Well, I don't know now. I think
Actually-
he is.
I'm 60. How old are you, Bias?
Well, whatever he was plus 20.
Yeah, exactly.
To be. I'm not that old. I'm middle-aged.
But you add plus 20 to whatever you were when you created the character.
Yes. I'm middle-aged plus 20.
so old.
He's an antiquarian, not a mathematician.
Antique is what he is.
I'm younger than the things I hang around with.
What's your wife?
Don't talk about my wife.
Sorry.
How about the rest of you? What do you want to do?
What time of day is it?
It's, I think it was sort of around mid to late afternoon.
And he's hammered.
Do I need to make another test?
I'll ask you soon.
Okay.
Was anyone going to step out or have a look?
Yeah, Raphe was going to sort of have a look around town, I guess, see what's there. We don't really know much about it.
Do you mind a companion in your travels?
But no, not at all.
Okay, I'll come with you.
Oh, I might
I'll
as well
finish off my
come too.
milk. Nah, you're drunk. Stay here.
I'm not drunk. I'm fine. He's drunk.
I'm
Well,
not
stay
drunk.
here and look after him.
Fine.
So he's in a bar. I mean,
I suppose.
Are there other patrons in this establishment?
There are behind curtains.
Okay.
There's the bartender. There's also a couple of bar wenches.
Okay. Well, Bias is trying to teach the bar staff some antiquarian songs and trying to like get them to go, come on, okay, now 1, 2.
Yeah, that approach, they seem to take interest in that, with the singing and the theatrics, and make a standard roll around, it's either charm, unless there's some other sort of skill you'd like to use.
I'll try charm, but I lose 2 skill ranks, so that's minus 20%. Is that right?
No, you just don't get to count it.
If you don't have the skill, you won't lose anything. If you're just rolling straight fellowship, I think.
I do not have the skill.
Yeah, then you just roll your straight.
I succeed.
Okay. He starts pouring you another stein to keep you, he sort of regards you in a favourable manner and, has a chat and, feel free to, you can ask him whatever you like casually if you like. He seems quite receptive to you. He likes hearing about your tales and songs, so you might want to just pocket that for the moment. Have a think.
Sure.
Just let me know. How about you, young man? Would you like to try a real man's drink like beer?
Okay, sure.
Your friend
What's that
here,
for
he's
exactly?
interesting. You should stick by him. No, on the house. It's all right.
Fantastic, thank you. What did I think of the honey mead? I mean, what did it taste like? Was it lolly resembling?
Well, you like honey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
it's
so,
a
okay.
sweet tasting wine.
Yeah, well, I guess I really enjoyed that then. Maybe I should be holding. No. Okay, I'll have a beer.
Good. All right. Well, we'll get you to make a toughness check at the same time when Baius does down the track too. Because I guess you're just sort of sitting on your drinks unless you want to kind of skull.
No.
Skull and scald.
Just having an afternoon session.
As you step out, you notice that the fog is starting to rise, coming up from the cauldron and starting to envelop the island which the Old Kartakan Inn is situated on. But the way is still clear into town.
Does town itself look clear?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're up above the town.
You're sort of situated north of the town, right on the river.
Yeah.
So you have to cross some bridges to get into town.
Yeah, I'm just wondering what we can sort of see of town from here.
It's a sprawling metropolis and guard towers in the distance.
Can we see anything resembling, I guess, markets or trade district or something like that?
You'd probably have to get into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well.
You can always ask for directions.
Sure. Is it just Raphe and...
No, Raphe and Mother Maja, I'm going to accompany you because I feel uncomfortable with all of those men drinking in there.
Well, that's probably sensible.
Thanks.
We need someone to look after us, don't we?
Well, they can look after one another.
Drunk and a small boy.
All right, well, we will head towards town.
Well, this town, there's a deliberate military presence here. You see guards patrolling, but a lot of people are starting to sort of shutter up their windows, and you ask about and they sort of point you in the right direction. They sort of say, they kind of look you up and down and ask you, you want to go to the common markets or...
Well, are they going to be shut? It looks like everyone's closing up rather early.
Well, yes. Normally, most people close up around as it gets dark. It's not advisable to be on the streets at night.
I thought you said it was the afternoon.
Yeah, I was thinking about 4:30.
Okay. What time does it get dark?
Oh, usually 6.
So we have some time, yeah?
Yeah. The markets will be open, but the mothers are starting to bring in the washing and chase their children in for dinner.
All right. Very well. Thank you. Thank you for your assistance. Well, I guess we head towards where we've been told the market is. Raphe will do his best to avoid the... do they seem to be actual military rather than sort of watch or guards, or are they just...
Yeah, they are military. The military are the guard.
Okay. Do we know whose army they are?
The Lord of Kartakas, the Meister Singer.
Like, so he's still in charge of Skald as well.
Harmonia has their own Meister Singer.
Okay.
And this is like the grand Meister Singer. Whoever's the Meister Singer of Skald is the head of the country.
Okay, so they have their own here.
This is Harkin Lucas, is it?
Yes, Harkin Lucas. The closest market is Upper Skald, and this is where you can buy, I guess, goods that are harder to procure. So like things that cost gold coins as opposed to silver and brass pennies. The marketplace is quite a distance to the west, and there's sort of a ring road. So the other market's close to the docks on the Sing Song River.
All right, how long does it take to get to the market?
Oh, half an hour.
Right, well, we best just have a quick poke around, I guess. We need to be back, apparently. If the locals don't think it's good to be out on the streets at night, then I think perhaps we should
follow
listen.
that.
Yes.
Follow their advice.
Well, the market in Skald has, I guess it's just bigger and there's more as opposed to Harmonia. There's more exotic goods, so there'd be strange animals like monkeys and ravens and rats and all dogs and cats of all different varieties. There's all a variety of different foods.
Is there anyone selling arms or armour?
Yes, there are people who sell, I guess, a simpler type of weapons.
You trying to sell some?
No. I'm trying to buy some.
Okay.
What sort of level of stuff are we talking about?
Well, usually, let's say in the market, anything that's sort of a simple weapon you could purchase there. They might have something more martial in stock. And with the armour, you might be lucky to get mail.
Well, I would be looking for something like leather armour from an armour point of view, and from weapons, perhaps something like a simple sword. So I guess hunting sword, rapier is in there, but that doesn't strike me as necessarily a simple weapon in terms of availability.
It's also one of the most expensive ones there.
Yeah.
Where's my Paul?
It'd be a rolling a 6 on a D6 to see if they have one of those in stock.
Yep. What about a hunting sword?
Hunting sword.
Isn't that just a short sword?
Well, I'm not sure.
That's from Main Gorsh.
Is it?
Well, if it is, I've got a copy of the PDF right here. So, yeah, it's basically a sort of short sword by the look of it.
How much is it?
I think 2 gold.
2 gold. Okay. So how much do you want to shop around?
Well, I guess that's the main things I'm looking for, but I mean, we've probably only got about a half hour or so from what you said to do that.
All right. If you have a skill rank in bargain, you can attempt to haggle for a cheaper price for equipment.
I do have a skill rank in bargain.
And it's easier to wheel and deal for those of the same social class. So there could be a modifier there because you're in the market.
Yep.
They're sort of lowborn.
Okay, I'm a burger or whatever the sort of middle class.
They're going to take you for all you've got.
So with a successful bargain test, you can increase the resale price for every 6 points of FB.
Yeah.
Do we have weapons we needed to sell that we got from that guy's house?
Oh, well, maybe.
Wasn't there like a gold sickle or something?
Oh, I've got a silver sickle, but I was keeping that in case we
Yeah,
come
I've got
up
a
against
silver hunting sword, I think.
any kind of similar.
Hang on, do we know that silver affects them? We've been told.
Well, I don't think we know, but I think.
Just assume.
Yeah, because we
Baius,
wouldn't know. Cause,
did Baius say anything about
Yeah, I don't know why we'd know.
Because he coated his dagger with wolfsbane, so we don't know if it was actually the wolfsbane, the dagger, or both that dealt damage to that first were creature. Because
true.
Because he had, yeah.
So if you make a bargain roll,
Yep.
a successful bargain roll, then you can... What's your fellowship bonus?
My fellowship bonus is 4.
So you can have it at 90% of the listed price. If you fail, it's normal price. If you critically fail, then we'll say time has elapsed. So what do you want to bargain for first?
For the armour, and that's a success.
You strike a deal. The leather armour is normally 20 gold coins, but at 10% discount, you can have it for 18.
Okay, well, I'm going to have to pay for that with a gem worth 22 gold pieces.
He wants it. He's thinking, how am I going to break this?
I'm willing to just pay the gem.
All right. Is there something else I can throw in for you? A shield, perhaps?
Sure, yes, that would be wonderful.
So he lets you take a selection of a buckler or a wooden shield.
Maja, what sort of shield would you prefer to use?
Wouldn't mind a wooden shield.
Oh, very well.
He says the great thing about the wooden shield is
I
it's
don't care. Shut up. Just give me the shield.
I'd like to know.
Oh, okay.
is that it is light and it is defensive. So
As a shield should be.
the buckler is useful for defense. Only really, it doesn't do much. You might be able to parry a blow, but the wooden shield is quite good because you can do the same thing. However, you can also strike at your opponent with it, which confers a +1 to damage whenever you do a melee attack.
I think it'd be awesome if shopkeepers actually said that part.
I suppose given my good, given the value of the gem and my bargain roll, would he throw in a buckler and a shield?
Done.
Excellent.
And Mother Maja, look at the shield as a symbol of shielding you from the influence of evil in your life.
All right, well, as I say, I'm giving the wooden shield to Maja.
Sweet.
And he points you in the direction of a weapons dealer.
Thank you very much.
And I believe you're after a hunting sword.
Yes.
Actually, I wouldn't mind a hunting sword as well. I might sell my hardened wooden spear.
Are you going to sell that?
I would, yes. Raphe, could you sell the spear for me?
All right, well,
and this dirk?
Let's see if we can make a deal.
All right. So the first thing I want is a
Bargain?
trade. Yeah, bargain skill, but -10 because you're different social class.
Okay. Nope, not going to do it. But not a critical failure.
So usual price.
So how much can I get for selling my weapons?
It's like half or something, isn't it?
So 60% of listed price.
Okay, so I can get 3 silver pieces for the dirk and...
Oh, sorry, 50% because you didn't make the roll.
So 2 silver and 6 brass pennies for the dirk and 3 and 6 for the spear. Is there any sort of longer bladed weapon? It's only really the rapier, isn't it?
You could ask him if there's... roll a d6, see if there's anything else.
A scythe?
I rolled a 5.
It's just the simple melee weapon list. So he's still waiting for you to perhaps make a purchase. He would perhaps prefer to trade some of your weapons for part of the price of anything you buy.
Yeah.
I'm happy to just hand over my gold for my sword.
All right, I'll hand
two.
in I'll get a hunting sword, but I'll trade in the dirk and the fire hardened spear.
All right.
So all up, that's 5 silver, 6 silver all up.
So you get some brass pennies back?
So I know I'm going to have to give him 1 gold and 14 silver.
Okay.
So how drunk is Baius by this point?
So, Baius and Helmut, can we have some toughness tests, please? Because it's beer, you get +10 to your toughness.
I failed.
I succeeded.
We're going to get back and you're just going to be
Yep. I'm going to
absolutely
be...
munted.
Has my dog been allowed in? Is he allowed in the bar? Because I'm just going to have my arm around the dog and I'll be singing away.
Yeah, we're singing. Bar staff, with the bar staff.
Yeah, they let you go get Frida
Yeah.
and bring her in.
Frida can have some as well.
So, Helmut, 3d10 plus 3 peril, as you are intoxicated somewhat.
Bother. What was it? The 3d10 plus
3.
3. 30.
So what? You also got the dunderhead quality, haven't you?
Oh, I do. 1 additional step on the peril track.
You are utterly
And also 1 corruption. So,
And you take 1 corruption from being drunk.
yeah, so that's over my top. So I go up 4 steps, is that correct? Oh, 5. Wait a minute, am I incapacitated?
I think so.
I think I am.
Oh, great.
Well,
2-pot screamer.
yeah. Well, if I go up 4 ranks plus the 1 for being a dunderhead, 1 additional step on the peril track, then yeah, I'm passed out.
So you're intoxicated.
Or whatever incapacitated comes to.
So
I mean, I can't do
it says
anything,
here,
you know.
if for some reason you are incapacitated while intoxicated, you fall unconscious for 6 hours. You
Well-
cannot recover your peril condition track for 24 hours after being intoxicated, as you suffer from a hangover.
Oh, lovely. Okay, so hang on. How did the peril track work again? I just go, what do I add, a chaos rank or something? How did that work? forgotten how it goes.
So you add 2 corruption.
Oh, corruption's at the number in the middle.
Yeah.
And it's reset since, because I've got a 6 in
It's
there.
reset after we roll.
Which we haven't done for a while.
Yeah,
We
mine's sitting
haven't
at
done a
6,
sort of
but-
end of session type thing for a while.
Well, I'm now blotto. Won't be doing anything for a while.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
So Baius turns to Helmut to sort of, cheers and sing, and then kind of notices
I've curled up asleep
passed out.
with my dog.
The innkeeper says we could perhaps perk him up.
Like Weekend at Bernie's.
He sort of brings out a little pouch with a variety of pockets, which has different sorts of weeds and smelling salts and those sorts of things.
Baius is very excited about this.
Great. So we're going to have a drug addict kid.
Oh no, I think Baius is going to take the drugs.
So yeah, there's smelling salts, but there's also other things here if you would like to partake in devil weed or laudanum.
Okay,
You down?
he'll just try whatever's going.
It's going to cost though.
Okay, well, I basically slam all the rest of my money on the table.
How much is that?
The princely sum of 8 brass pennies.
I noticed that the young fella had a little bit more money in his purse.
Yeah, good point. So this is another 20 brass pennies.
20 brass pennies in all.
No, 28.
28 together. Tell me a bit about taking Helmut's money. I guess that's stealing and...
That's got to be corruption, isn't
Yeah.
it?
No, I think basically so the bartender says, this is the way I imagine this is, the bartender says, oh, your friend had money in his purse, and Baius kind of looks over probably to where Helmut keeps his purse, just sort of looks at the bartender, looks back at Helmut, looks at the bartender, shrugs. Basically kind of encouraging him to help himself, but I'm not going to take it out for him.
That's how you're justifying it to yourself.
Yeah, that's how I'm justifying it to myself. just we can do this together, but it's going to have to be together. I'm not just going to take the money off him. So I'm expecting the bartender to do it.
Yeah, pass me the purse. We'll fix him up. We'll see if we can at least get him with his eyes open.
Fine. Baius leans down and picks up the purse.
Look, it's how big is he?
I'm hefty, I think, whatever the
But how old are you?
13.
Yeah, but you're not fully grown, most likely.
No, husky is the build type I am.
So when the bartender goes through Helmut's pouch, there's quite a lot of money in there, particular silver, and he takes 7 silver shilling and releases he says, pop this and release it under his nose and he should come right.
I do that.
So you take a point of corruption as you're awoken by smelling salts. You are 1 track up from intoxicated. Again, you take the penalties because what's the second last from incapacitated?
Ignore 3 skill ranks.
Okay.
Certainly not going to have 3 skill ranks in anything at the moment. But
And you take
another point of corruption
another point of corruption.
for taking drugs. But that's not my choice. Come on.
I mean, is smelling salts really a drug though?
Yeah.
Maybe corruption's more for waking up with a really bad headache.
I'm not sure of the origins of smelling salts, but I'm guessing with anything like anything drug-like, it can corrupt the body and the soul in some small way. Whether he is actually overall corrupted, we'll find out at the end of the game. It's just a vulnerability has been put into place.
Mm-hmm.
Same with the drinking.
So presumably that 7 shillings bought more than some smelling salts, barkeep.
Bath salts.
Bath salts.
Oh no. Just try and eat you.
Tobias, he offers a pipe. He says, "Oh, this is nothing. You can have some of this."
Okay, great.
Because I like you. I rather like the guy. And the boy is rather nice with his little doggy.
I smoke up.
The conversation turns to, so you seem like a rather mature, sensible, entertaining fellow.
Thanks.
Are you married perhaps?
Yes, I'm married.
And you're from out of town, you're saying? You have a slight lilt of the harmonian accent in with you, which I find rather appealing in its own way. It kind of gives you a wink.
Okay, I'll wink back.
Well then, and how are things with your marriage?
I mean, it's always a compromise. we've been married a long time. I'd say that the passion's gone out of it, but there's some degree of comfort.
I see, yes. Yes, I can relate to this myself, and sometimes you just feel like throwing all caution to the wind and perhaps starting over again, perhaps even just for a taste of what it was like at the beginning with someone new.
True. What is this pipe smoke doing to me?
Well, it is reducing your will, no doubt. So usually with most deliriants, depending on how much you have, they reduce your will and your perception and so on.
Mm-hmm.
And you take a point of corruption too for having it. Devilweed reduces your encumbrance limit, initiative and movement by a -3 penalty for the next 6 hours. But I guess overall you're feeling pretty relaxed.
Okay, so Baius pulls out this massive jar full of leeches and just like, it's just too heavy. And he just puts it on the bar and he's like, look at this. He taps on the glass. It's so cool. And just like staring at the jar and watching the leeches like kind of wriggle around and pointing to the bartender. Look, check it out.
You know what would have been fun if he was still asleep and we tipped the jar on him.
That's such a good idea. Let's look around for any other patrons in here who have passed out.
Let me just leave it here. If anyone does, we will do that to them. You and I.
Cool.
Or, well, it could be useful if there's a bar fight later to get rid of the bruising.
True.
Was there any other things that you wanted to purchase at the market?
Well, Ilse, is there anything you need? I don't just mean weapons. I know that's not really your area of interest.
Not really, as long as I've got enough food. Is that something we need to buy? Do we need to make sure we're buying food for our travels?
Well, I think we're staying put for the next few days at least. So hopefully the inn can help us out there, and if we need to get anything, we can.
Then there's probably nothing more that I need.
All right, well, perhaps we should head back before it gets too dark.
I don't want to be caught out at night.
No, I agree entirely.
Let's go back to the pub.
As you are making your way through the streets, the fog is starting to settle on, not settle, but sort of starting to rise and seep into the town. Making your way back, let's just go for a navigation check.
Either of us, or
Well, probably the person who has the highest roll, or if you've got a skill rank in it. Has anyone got navigation?
I have
got-
a skill rank.
Well, Ilse, please lead the way.
I will do.
Sorry, is it Ilse or Ilse?
Ilse, but
Ilse,
I do get
okay.
referred to as Ilse and don't really care. So if I have 1 rank in navigation,
That's plus 10. Is this a standard roll? Or
I'm going to make it routine.
Routine?
so that's another plus 10.
I needed a 64 and I got a 66.
we're lost.
That's a critical fail.
Right, so you immediately take 2d10 plus 2 peril from the stress of not being able to work out the way back to the
All
inn.
of us, or just him?
2d10 plus how much?
2.
And that's all of us?
Just him. Her.
5, which
Equals the threshold. Is that enough? Is it equal or exceed
I believe you have to exceed.
Okay.
So you start seeing Ilse becoming somewhat frustrated, I guess.
It's all right. We'll find our way. Don't worry, Ilse, or Ilse, whatever your name is.
yeah, thank you. You're very kind. I was sure it was down this street, but I think obviously I made a mistake.
Is there anyone around at all?
Yeah, well, most people are starting to close up, and the streets are becoming rather empty. Make a awareness check, somebody.
Standard?
Standard, yeah.
That's a success.
All right, so there seems to be a bit of an armed procession moving around the streets with someone in is it palanquin?
That's a litter, I think, if it's an enclosed one.
Yeah. Yes, and they're sort of wandering around the street on their wherever destination they're due.
What is that? Is that someone important in there?
Well, it probably is. I'm not sure it's safe to stop their guards. They might not be thrilled to be prevented from wherever they're going.
Yeah.
Perhaps, could you try talking to them, Ilse? You're certainly not threatening. I'm willing to back you up, but I'm not necessarily the sort that guards like that much.
Yes, I'm worried about being left out at night. perhaps, so should I ask one of the guards directions to, what was the name of
The Old
inn?
Kartakan Inn.
The Old Kartakan Inn. I'll hail a guard. Hail, guard. Excuse me, do you have a moment for a quick question? If you're too busy, then I understand.
Let's see how charming you are. I'm going to make it hard because they are on a mission. And what's your social rank?
Burger.
Burger. Okay.
No, I fail.
So stay back. We're on our way to the Old Kartakan Inn.
Oh, sorry to interrupt you, sir. Well, there you go. Let's follow them.
We're going to look a bit suspicious following them.
Two heavily armed people trailing their litter might arouse their suspicions.
Yes.
Do you want me to trail them at a distance and you trail me at a distance?
Yeah, I think that might be sensible.
Well, let's do that. I'll sort of, you've probably noticed as I walk, I've got a bit of a limp and I'm not very fast, but I'll trail them just a short distance behind them.
Okay. Because of the fog and it's dark, I'm going to make this an easy stealth test.
Can I maybe give Ilse my lamp? Do we have time to sort of, so she could light that so we could see her more easily through the fog?
Yeah, sure.
So I got a 7 for stealth.
Okay.
Is this this counts as an urban area, yes?
Yeah.
So this is easy, is plus 10.
Plus 20.
Plus 20.
Oh, sorry, plus 20. I have another plus 20 from Streetwise, so that's plus 40. So 83, 93. So if I fail this...
So you're following the palanquin and then Ilse's following...
Ilse's following the
Palanquin
litter
with the
or
lamp.
whatever, and then with the lamp, and then we're following her and the lamplight.
So first of all...
I'm not, Ilse's not really trying to hide or be stealthy. She's just following at a distance. Like, I don't...
Yeah, the idea is Ilse's not very threatening, so
Okay.
she's following them.
Gotcha.
They shouldn't be that worried. But
She
if
doesn't feel like she needs to be sneaky. She's just going to follow them because she's innocent.
Yeah, whereas Maja and
Yeah. I'm
Rafe
walking
look a
along
bit
here.
dodgy right now.
Yeah, I got a shield and sword and a bow slung over my back.
Okay. So Marsha's made her stealth check.
Yeah, she rolled a 0-7.
Yeah, I pass easily.
Great. Well, funnily enough, they lead you back to the Old Kartakan Inn. As you cross the bridge to the Old Kartakan Inn, the fog is approaching chest height. The palanquin stops and is put down, and a figure walks into the tavern from it.
Do we recognise her or it?
You're at a distance, and the light blaring from the entrance, it's a bit hard. But someone's walked in, and shortly after, the guards and the palanquin disappear around the back.
Do any of the guards enter the inn?
No. Baius and Helmut, just before your companions enter, you notice a dapper, well-dressed man with fine clothes and a monocle enter.